Coming up on FYI.
Pupils here are more active than most, and it's down to their uniform, which is a bit different to most schools.
It's called the Always Active uniform, and it's all about helping students move more, learn better and feel great.
What's the fanciest punctuation?
I don't know.
An apostrophe.
We've seen reports that apparently 1/3 of children's sunglasses bought from popular online stores do not protect our eyes and are actually unsafe. But is this fake news or fact? This is FYI, where we bring you all the latest top news stories from the UK and around the world. And this week saw the return of National Schools Sports Week, an annual event that encourages pupils all over the UK to get moving. Iara has been to one school that recently made some big changes to help the kids there get more active.
Did you know that more than half of children and young people in England, 52.3% in fact, aren't active enough every day? But one school in particular are trying to change that. Loads of schools are taking part in National School Sports Week, but for pupils in Sunderland at Dame Dorothy Primary School, being active is all year round.
Well, we have several different clubs after school and a few in school as well. We have 3 break times per day, we do laps, and on Fridays there's a running club.
Pupils here are more active than most, and it's down to their uniform, which is a bit different to most schools.
It's called the Always Active uniform, and it's all about helping students move more, learn better and feel great. The school has ditched their blazers, stiff trousers and skirts. Instead, they wear sportswear every day. The idea is to help kids stay active, not just in PE, but all through the school day. It means pupils can join in at any time, break, lunch, or even in lessons.
We see far greater participation of children. Now everyone takes part in every lesson. At lunch times, we see all the children actively engaged in activities.
And I noticed that some of the teachers also wear the active wear.
Yeah, that's very true. We didn't tell them or ask them to wear that uniform. That was very much a choice. Maybe it gives us a greater sense of school community.
What do you like the most about your school uniform compared to what you had before?
It's more comfortable and it's more easier to get active, and it's better for moving around because you're not as tight, so you don't get much as annoyed when you're learning, and it's easy to concentrate. We used to have like skirts or just normal like trousers, but that didn't really like help the girls to do like gymnastics or what they liked.
Now, I can do this, and it has really improved everything about our sporting activities.
Well, it's a lot more sporty, and we used to wear dressing trousers really hard to, like just jump in general. But these ones you can do a lot more in.
The Always Active idea comes from the Youth Sport Trust. They say that movement should be part of every school day, not just PE. In fact, 74% of parents say that they'd support this type of uniform at their child's school. Would you ever consider going back to wearing the normal uniform?
No, would never go back now. I think it's been a very, very positive change, and I think for the health and the well-being of children for generations to come, I think we'll see a lot more schools following our example.
So, while lots of schools still stick with their shirts and ties, here at Dame Dorothy, it's all about comfort, confidence and keeping active. Could this be the uniform of the future?
What do you make of this story we spotted? Is it fake news or fact? We did some digging. Many of us have been putting on our sunglasses and enjoying the warm, sunny weather this week. But we've seen reports that apparently 1/3 of children's sunglasses bought from popular online stores do not protect our eyes and are actually unsafe. But is this fake news or fact? Find out later in the show. Friday, 20th of June is National Clean Air Day, which highlights the impact of air pollution on our health and the environment. It encourages us to use alternative modes of transport and green energy sources. But how much do you know about green energy? And why is it so important? Well, take a look at this.
Have you ever thought about how much energy we use? Whether it's watching cat videos on our phones, buying a burger from a takeaway, or going somewhere in the car. Pretty much everything we do involves energy. But where does it all come from? Well, I've been checking this out. For most of human history, our energy use has been pretty low. But over the last 100 years or so, it's skyrocketed. Quite literally. At the moment, most of the energy we use comes from things like gas, oil, and coal. They're often called fossil fuels because they come from the remains of prehistoric plants and animals. These remains contain carbon, which when we bring it up from underground, can be burnt to make energy and fuel. Imagine that, we're using dead dinosaurs to move all our stuff around and generate electricity. Crazy! But burning fossil fuels also sends harmful gases into the atmosphere, causing our climate to change. Luckily though, there's another type of energy, called green energy or renewable energy. It creates electricity using wind turbines and solar panels, which use the heat of the sun. Plus, there's also hydropower, created by the flow of water in rivers and oceans. The good thing is, these forms of energy aren't as harmful for the environment, but that doesn't mean there aren't some challenges. For example, what happens when the wind isn't blowing? And what if there's no sunshine, like at night time? Well, let's talk to an expert, one of the UK's green energy pioneers, Dale Vince. Hi Dale, so can you solve some of these problems for us? Are wind turbines any good when the wind isn't blowing?
Well, it's a good question and a funny one because obviously windmills, as I prefer to call them, don't go around when there's no wind, but it's not such a big problem. That doesn't happen very often. And when it does, we have big cables connecting the countries of Europe and we can take electricity from somewhere where it is windy and give it back when we have the wind and they don't.
And what about all the steel in wind turbines? Doesn't that have to be made with fossil fuels?
Another good question. Wind turbines are made from steel and concrete. Most things are today, but that's not the problem that it might appear to be, because if you look at the carbon cost of all of those materials, when you put up one windmill, within 6 months, you've got that back through carbon savings. And for the next 30 years, you make a net saving of carbon. And steel is beginning to be made without fossil fuels as well.
But what about solar panels when there's no sunlight?
Of course, solar panels don't work when there's no sun at night time, but that's not such a big problem. People on their homes today are putting in batteries and solar panels so that when they make energy during the day that they don't need, they can keep it and use it at night.
So which country is doing the best with renewable energy? Well, I've been looking into this, and let's see if you can guess from these four which one it is. Is it the UK, the USA, Norway, or India? Well, the answer is Norway. Nearly all of its electricity comes from hydropower, created by water flowing down steep valleys from its high mountains. And guess what? They're exporting some of their hydropower to the UK, using giant wires across the North Sea. So Dale, could we be doing more in the UK to make sure that we don't use fossil fuels?
Absolutely. There's two things we could do here. One is to use less energy. We can probably save 20 to 25% at home by turning things off, turning things down like thermostats. And meanwhile, we've got 50% green electricity on the grid. We could get to 100% in about 10 years. We have enough wind and sun to power the whole country nearly 20 times over.
And what about innovations for the future?
So we have a new way to make electricity, something called a tidal lagoon, using underwater propellers, driving generators. That looks really exciting. But up until now, we've only been talking about electricity. We also use a lot of fossil fuel gas to heat our homes and run businesses. We've found a new way to make that gas from grass. And we have enough grass in the country to make all of the gas that we need so that we can free ourselves from fossil gas completely.
Thank you, Dale.
That was my pleasure. Thank you.
So it seems like green energy really is the way forward if we want to protect our planet. And before too long, the fossil fuels that we rely on at the moment will become a thing of the past, just like dinosaurs.
Pupils at Riverley Primary School in London have been named Britain's Funniest Class 2025 by the Beano comic. They won the award for their joke, which came top in a nationwide public vote. Here's some of the pupils with their winning joke.
What's the fanciest punctuation?
I don't know.
An apostrophe.
Whilst the competition celebrates having fun, experts believe that sharing a joke or a funny story is also really important for our well-being and development. It can help us to connect with others and make it easier to deal with difficult situations. So, maybe we should all tell a few more jokes. So, what did you make of reports that many children's sunglasses bought from online retailers are actually not safe? Well, worryingly, it's fact. Which magazine tested 20 pairs of sunglasses available online and found 1/3 didn't offer enough protection from the sun's harmful ultraviolet, or UV rays, which can damage our eyes. And all the sunglasses they tested were being sold illegally in the UK because they were missing important safety markings. So if you are choosing sunglasses this summer, get a grown-up to check that they have a CE or UKCA marking, which means they meet the standards needed to keep your eyes safe.
That's about it from us, but we'll see you next time for more of the news that matters to you. Bye!